Good evening, Earthlings. We are back. Clementine still has not figured out boundaries. And today we're here with day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas series. Now, she overtook yesterday's video. The dog bandana was not intended to be the first video, so this was bookmarks. So last year we did corner bookmarks, and we did like triangles and hearts, which I sell on my table like wildfire. Excuse me. Yeah, so I sell them on my table for $3 each, and people love those little bookmarks. And so I wanted to kind of up the ante this year. And it originally started, if you see in the PDF, there are several options. And it originally started with, I wanted to do like a reverse applique on a rectangle. And then I don't know what inspired it. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about planting tulips and flowers in my garden, which I'm going to. The tulips are on their way. I'm going to have a ton of tulips everywhere, hopefully. That's the goal. But anyway, so flowers have been like big on my mind. And so I designed some fun little bookmarks. And so you can make these double-sided. You can see I did crazy quilting in mine. There are singular big flowers that I think are really fun as well. And you can do them single-sided. You can do one layer of cork or vinyl or leather and then back it with felt. You can just do single-sided period. There are just endless options for customizations, and you can punch a hole at the top and then I love baker's twine because I just love that it comes in so many different colors, but you can get ribbon, twine. You don't have to have a string at all. Clementine, please. It's not bath time, right? But yes, so I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you at the end. To get started on making these super cool flower bookmarks, you're going to get the printable ready and decide which one you'd like to make. Now, there are several options here. We have our 2 standard rectangles. These are going to be great for if you want to embroider or do a reverse applique or do applique on it. There's a lot of room for customization with these 2. And then while I was designing the flower chain, I thought, oh, just having even one single flower would be kind of fun. So I drew these up and added them just in case you decided you wanted to go for them. So to get started, you're going to pick which one you want to do. Now on the printout, which it might look a little different than this because I tend to make some changes, you know, in the process. But so if yours doesn't look exactly like this, that's totally fine. It's the same idea, but choose what you want to work on. Now on the printable, there's a note that you're not going to cut out the centers of the flowers. We are going to just cut out the perimeter, and then using stitches or applique, you can add details to the flowers as you see fit. So for this demonstration, I'm doing this flower chain, and I cut them out on my laser. And now to make a double-sided bookmark, you need to print out 2, and they need to be mirrored. So if it's not already available, it will be very soon. But the cutting mat version has both images, and they're mirrored, and they're ready for you to cut one of each. So you need to do that if you're doing any of the flowers. These obviously, those are self-explanatory. You don't need to cut those. But if you were to cut just 2 of these daisy chains right side up, whenever you lay them wrong sides together, they're not going to fit because of the way that I drew the picture. So you need to make sure that they're mirrored. And then that way, when you lay them wrong sides together, all of the pieces match up nicely. Now, of course, I cut mine on my laser. If you have a cutting machine, it works really great, but you can cut this by hand. And I would probably just leave these open sections filled in and then just stitch and make some details and define the overall look of everything. So you're going to get started after you get your 2 pieces cut. I need to pick out this little section here. I'm just going to glue these together. Now, alternatively, you can just print one and put it on a piece of felt backing and then sew around it, and then cut out a wide border, and that'll be a really cute bookmark. You can just cut out the design from felt in general. You don't have to use cork, vinyl, or leather. You can use felt for this. And yeah, there's just lots of fun options. but for the purposes of this demonstration, I will be doing 2. I'm going to glue them wrong sides together. So I'm just applying glue down the centers here and out onto the petals, but I'm not getting too careful about covering the entire section because we're going to be stitching around all of the perimeter anyways. And then also don't forget that you can take these designs and you can tweak them. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, you can do whatever you want. These are just launch pads for your creativity. Okay, so once you have your 2 glued together, we're going to move to the machine and I'm just going to stitch around the entire perimeter. And then I'm also going to add some detailing here in the centers for the petals. I think. I kind of dig it just like this. I think it's cute and the message comes across that it's a flower chain. But this is when you could get fun and funky with your design. You can stitch all throughout and do a crazy stitch. You can be extra careful and try to stitch just around the edges. You can do different color threads to create details. It's limitless. Before I go though, I am gonna punch a hole here in the top where my twine will hang. You know, most bookmarks, they have the cute string that hangs out of the top. So I want to mark that before I start stitching. So that way I know that if I stitch around this, I won't have to accidentally pierce it to tie my ribbon later on. So I have some coordinating thread in here, but again, you can use contrast thread for a real pop of color. I'm using Waywack Tech 70, and because this is such a small area, I'm going to bump my stitch length down to about a 3.5. That way I can have more wiggle room whenever I'm trying to go around these curves. And the more I look at this, I kind of think I want to just do my crazy stitching all over, so let's go for it. Now to finish off this little cutie, all we need to do is burn off these little fuzzies here. So grab a lighter. Get that going. And now to finish this, I would just do a quick coat of Mod Podge just so that it doesn't fray when it's being used. But because I cut this with a Glowforge, I probably can sneak by without doing this. But as a general practice, especially if you're cutting by hand, I would recommend sealing your edges of cork. Now vinyl, I'm not super well versed in, but I don't think it puts off little fuzzies like cork does. This would be fun to edge coat. This particular design would probably be pretty arduous to edge coat, but I think it would look super cute if you did like a pop of color on the edges. All right, get down here. Cute, cute, cute. And then if you want to add some ribbon or twine or something to hang off the top, you can grab that now. The hole that I punched is quite small. I'm gonna see if I can get this through, otherwise I'm gonna have to enlarge that. I have glue on these. That's never helpful. Yeah, I'm just gonna punch a larger hole and save myself some frustration there. Let's see. Sometimes hole punchers need a little bit of help. So if it doesn't punch through on the first time, then just go back and do it again. I don't think hole punchers are consistent with their sharpness on the edges. But with just a little bit of help, you can see how easily you can actually punch through. Okay, let's try this. Oh yeah, easy, easy. So I just looped it down at the bottom, and then I'm just going to pull it through. And then I'm just going to trim, because that's quite long. About there, mine is about 3 inches long. And then now we have a completed bookmark. Let's see. Here's the book I just started. Cute. That's perfect. I just love these little guys so much. I hope that you do too. Please be sure, if you haven't already, to join my Facebook group, because I love to see everybody's makes. I don't want you all to be shy. I want you to come off of YouTube, join the Facebook group, or join my Patreon group and share what you're making. I can't wait to see everybody's makes with this series. The 12 Days of Christmas series is always the big traction on my channel, and I really look forward to seeing all of the interaction. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe so that way you are alerted as soon as the videos go live, leave me comments, join my groups, all of that fun stuff. And I will see you back here tomorrow for day 3.